Hello learner, I'm Harshita Chaudhary and today we'll be talking about fabric finishes which are used to enhance the appearance and the properties of the fabric while making it suitable for the consumer. A series of treatments are given in mills to finish textile goods like dyeing, printing, bleaching, scarring before it is sent to the market. In order to impart functional properties to fiber or fabric, it is customary to subject the material to different types of physical and mechanical treatments which are called as the finishes. By the end of this study, you will be able to fulfill the following objectives. Firstly, to explain the meaning and importance of finishes given to the fabrics. Second, to classify various finishes according to their properties. Third, describe the effect of the application of basic finishes on fabrics. Fourth, enumerate special finishes and explain the ways of employing them. Fifth, elaborate the methods of dyeing and printing. And sixth being to evaluate different techniques of decorative dyeing and block printing on fabrics. Now, what is a finish? A finish is a treatment applied to a fabric to change its appearance, handle, touch or performance. Its purpose is to make the fabric more attractive and suitable for its end use. When you get a fabric from the market, it is called as the unfinished or grey fabric, though it is not grey in color. When no finish is applied on the textiles, it is termed as grey or unfinished fabric. It is dull, has wrinkles, is stained, cheap and lacks customer appeal. To avoid this, we apply finish onto the fabric surface. The importance of fabric finishes is it improves the appearance of the fabric and enhances its look. It improves the feel or touch of the fabric. It makes the fabric more useful. Some of the finishes, like stiffening finish, improves the draping ability of the fabrics while making it suitable for the consumer and fulfills a specific use. If we see the classification of finishes, the finishes can be classified into three types. First, on the basis of the function, second, on the basis of the performance, and third, on the basis of nature. On the basis of function, finishes can be of two types, basic and functional finishes. On the basis of performance, the finishes can be temporary, semi-durable, permanent and durable. On the basis of nature, the finishes can be chemical and mechanical finishes. Firstly, we will do the classification on the basis of function. On the basis of function, the first is the basic or common finishes which are applied to almost all the fabrics with an aim to improve their appearance, feel and body. Examples being scarring, bleaching, starching, bluing, etc. The second are the functional or special finishes which are applied to improve the performance of a fabric for some specific purpose. Examples being fireproof finish, waterproof finish, crease resistant finish, wash and wear finish, etc. Firstly, we'll do the basic finishes and its types in details. As mentioned before, basic finishes are of different types, of which the first one is scarring or the cleaning finish. When a fabric comes from loom, it is dull in appearance, has presence of waxes, starch, oils, etc. which are applied while making the fabric and that hinder the dyeing and printing of the fabric, that is, its further processing. Scarring is the process of cleaning with the help of warm water and soap solution, and it cleans and makes the fiber or fabric more absorbent. Different fibers are given different scarring treatment. Cotton fibers are boiled in soap solution. Silk fibers are boiled to remove the silk gum, which is called as sericin, and this process is called as the degumming. Wool fibers are boiled in soap solution to remove grease and oils, whereas man-made fibers are given normal washing. As you see, this is the unscarred fabric and this is the clean fabric produced after scarring. The second basic finish is the bleaching finish. It is a chemical treatment given to remove paleness or color and make fiber, yarn or fabric white. There are different kinds of bleaching agents which are being used. The examples for which are hydrogen peroxide for protein fibers and sodium hypochlorite for cottons. Man-made fibers do not require bleaching. One needs to be careful while using the bleach as they tend to harm the fabric. The third are the starching or stiffening finishes, which are applied to lightweight fabrics which are of fine quality and loosely woven. They impart firmness and body to the fabric and makes the fabric heavier, stiffer and crisp. It adds shine and smoothness to the fabric. Next being the calendering. Calendering finish is very similar to ironing. The fabric is passed through a series of smooth hot rollers to remove wrinkles and to make it smooth. It makes the fabric lustrous and improves its appearance. The other category, which is that of the special finishes, it includes waterproof, fireproof, pre-shrinking, moisturization, parchmentization and wash and wear finish. It is applied to improve the performance of the fabric for some specific purpose. Talking about each one of them in detail, the first one being the fireproof finish, which prevents the burning of the fabric. The fabric produced by fireproof finish application are suitable for fire brigade personnel. As you can see, these are the gloves which have been applied by the fireproof finish. The second being the waterproof finish, which makes the fabrics water repellent and is suitable for making umbrellas and raincoats. Third is the pre-shrinking finish, which is used to prevent the shrinkage of the fabric. Shrinkage is the reduction of a fabric or a garment in size, length or width after it is washed or dipped in water. Sanforization is the pre-shrinking treatment given to certain fabrics made from natural fibers to prevent further shrinking after washing. Fabrics treated for pre-shrinkage are labeled as sanforized, anti-shrink or shrink-proof fabrics. Next finish is the mercerization finish. As you know that cotton is a natural fiber which is dull in appearance. It wrinkles easily and is difficult to dye. Thus, mercerization finish is applied to cotton fabrics. In this, the fabric is immersed in alkali solution for a period of time. The effect of mercerization is it changes the cross section from kidney to bean shaped while increasing its luster. Also, it makes the fabric strong and absorbent and also improves the dye uptake. The fabrics or the threads which are mercerized are labeled as mercerized. The fifth finish is the parchmentization. It is similar to the stiffening or starching finish, though the effect produced is very similar. Cotton fabric is treated with mild acid that partially eats away the fabric, resulting in a transparent and stiff fabric called organdy. As you see, this is the organdy fabric which has been produced by the parchmentization finish. The fabric appears to be thin, transparent, stiff and lightweight. Next special finish is wash and wear finish. It is also called as the wrinkle resistant finish. Finish called wash and wear, which when applied to cotton fabrics completely changes its nature. The treated fabrics do not wrinkle too much and become easy to maintain. They do not require ironing, and if dried and stored properly, they can be worn without ironing or with little ironing. As you can see, this is the shirt which does not require ironing and is wrinkle free. It gives a fresh pressed look without use of iron. The next is the dyeing and printing finish. The process of producing colors and designs on a fabric is called dyeing and printing. Both of these finishes are used to apply color on the fabric, though the technique is very different. In dyeing, it gives a solid color to the fabric, whereas in printing, the application of dye is on specified areas to create designs. As you can see, this is the dyed fabric in which the solid color is obtained. In the other one, these are the printed textiles on which the designs are obtained by use of dye. Now, after we are through with the categorization on the basis of function, we'll move on to the categorization on the basis of performance. On the basis of degree of performance, the first finish are the temporary finishes. They are non-durable and run off after first washing or dry cleaning. They are renewable and can be applied at home. The example being starching and bluing. Various kinds of bluing agent like robin blue, Prussian blue are used for bluing, and for starching arrowroot starch, potato starch can be used. Next are the semi-durable finish, which tends to stay on the fabric surface for several washing, example being bleaching, which has been discussed before. Next are the durable finishes, which last throughout the life of the fabric but may lose its effectiveness after some time. Example being the permanent pleats of a nylon skirt, which open up after some time. They are initially heat set, but with time they do open up. The next are the permanent finishes, which are given by a chemical treatment. It changes the fiber structure and remains for the entire life of the fabric. The example being fireproof, waterproof finishes in which chemical is applied onto the fabric and enhance the properties of the fabric. The third categorization is on the basis of the nature. In this, the first category is the chemical or wet finishes, which are durable, and permanent finishes, where chemicals like acid, alkali, detergents are used either to change the appearance or basic properties of the fabric. As you can see, these are the threads which are being mercerized, and this is the crease resistant fabric. Next are the mechanical or dry finishes. They are temporary or semi-durable finishes which consist of application of heat, moisture or pressure or a mechanical device to finish the fabric. The example being brushing, beating or beetling. This is a brushed fabric which has been applied mechanical or dry finish. In this, the fabric surface is brushed to remove loose fibers and dirt from the surface. Next is the beetling or beating process, where the fabric is pounded with hammers to enhance its luster. Here you can see the fabric is being woven and then it is being beaten by the hammer. The next category is the coloration finish or the dyeing and printing of fabric. It adds diversity to our dresses through colors and designs, improves the appearance of the fabric. Various dyes are used for dyeing and printing, some being the natural dyes and others being the synthetic dyes. Natural dyes are obtained from natural sources like vegetables, animals, plants, etc. The examples for which are turmeric, which is haldi and obtained from plant source, indigo, that is neil, which is also obtained from the plant source, and Tyrian purple, which is obtained from the animal source. These natural dyes are eco-friendly and do not pollute water or land. The process of dyeing with natural dye is slow, difficult and expensive. The second category is that of the synthetic dyes. They are prepared synthetically with the help of chemicals. They differ in their chemical composition and behavior. They are easy to use, have better fastness than natural dyes. They give a brighter, larger color range. Although, unlike natural dyes, they cause a lot of pollution and result in allergies. There are different kinds of synthetic dyes which are being produced, like VAT dyes, direct dyes, reactive, disperse, etc. Next is the application of dyes. The dyes are applied in various stages: fiber stage, yarn stage, fabric stage and garment stage. In case of fiber dyeing, it results in uniform dyeing. The color is fast, although there is a lot of wastage of fibers while further processing. The second category is that of the yarn dyeing, which is also uniform dyeing. The yarns which are produced after dyeing can be used for weaving, knitting, crocheting, embroidery, etc. The third category is that of the fabric dyeing. It results in the uniform dyeing and easy for color matching. It is suitable for blend dyeing. In fabric dyeing, complete fabric is dipped in the dye bath for dyeing. The last one is that of the garment dyeing. It results in no fabric wastage. The complete garment is dyed in the dye bath and it is also called as the piece dyeing. Although the drawback with garment dyeing it results in non-uniform color along seams, pleats and gathers. Apart from simple dyeing, there is another technique of dyeing which is also called as the decorative or resist dyeing. When the process of dyeing is carried out in a selective way to get different designs is called as the resist dyeing. The term resist dyeing is used because some resist materials like threads, yarns or wax are used on specific areas to prevent them from being dyed. The two most popular techniques of resist dyeing are tie and dye and batik. This is the sample which has been produced by using tie and dye fabric, and this is the batik fabric. In case of tie and dye, the threads are used as a resist material to stop the dye from entering the selected areas of the fabric. Tying is done according to the design. Patola fabrics of Gujarat and Bandhani of Rajasthan are the two famous traditional Indian textiles which are made using tie and dye technique. There are various ways in which tie and dye can be done, producing different kind of design. Some of the ways being marbling, binding, folding, knotting, peg tying and trithik. We will be discussing each one of them in detail. Firstly, talking about the marbling, the fabric is crumbled in a ball form and tied using thread at different areas randomly. The fabric is dyed, opened and dried, giving a marbling effect. This is the dress which has been produced using marbling technique. Next is the binding. The fabric is picked up from one point, tied with thread at regular intervals and then tied. There are different ways by which binding can be done. This is the fabric which has two techniques together. In this, the binding, which is the clump binding, has been done to produce the effect. In another fabric, a circular design has been produced by using the similar technique of circular binding. Knotting is another technique where the fabric is knotted wherever desired and then dyed. In peg tying, cloth pegs or clamps are used as resist material. The fabric is folded and pegs are put at regular intervals. Another technique being the folding. The fabric is formed into a bundle of pleats by fan folding in one direction, which could either be lengthwise or widthwise, and tying at intervals. For diagonal stripes, the fabric is folded in diagonal folds and tied with threads as intervals. You can see here the fabric is being folded and is tied at intervals to create the design. Next being the trithik. In trithik, running stitch is done along the desired pattern length and the thread is put to draw fabric together, giving fine outlines for the design. This is the fabric which has been produced by using the trithik technique. Next technique of resist dyeing after tie and dye is the batik, where the wax is used as the resist material to prevent the dye from coloring certain areas. On selected areas of the fabric, a mixture of beeswax or paraffin wax is filled with brush or a block according to the design. The samples are then dyed and wax is removed. After the wax is removed, the areas which have been waxed do not get colored and the areas which have not been waxed take up the color. Shanti Niketan in West Bengal is known for its batik. Next, after dyeing, is the technique of printing, which is also the process of coloring the fabric. The color is applied only on selected areas to create designs which decorate the fabric surface. There are various methods of printing which are being used, like block printing, screen printing, roller printing or stencil printing. But today we will be discussing only block printing in detail. In this, wooden or metallic blocks which have design engraved on it are pressed on the thick dye paste and then stamped onto the fabric to produce the design. Sanganer in Rajasthan is famous for block printing. I hope this session was useful for our learners in understanding about the different kinds of fabric finishes and their utility in enhancing the properties of the fabric. Thank you.